Welcome back to MTFC TV. Joining me this time is Matlock's very own Dave Wild. Dave, we've had a few days now to decompress from Saturday's defeat. We're back down here tonight, lads, training. You've arrived early to have a chat with me, which is always nice. How are you feeling about the events from Saturday and the days after?
It's gone now. It's happened. Big thing for me and everyone and anyone who's involved in football. A big part of football's losing games. If you could win every single week, we'd have already won the league, wouldn't we? So, listen, we've been beaten. I thought Everton were good for the money on Saturday. I've got a really good relationship with Brad. I spoke to him on Sunday, congratulated him on the win. I do think, balance of play, we were the better team across 90 minutes, personally. Whether that's in terms of sort of huffing and puffing or chance creation, but ultimately they beat us on the counter attack and they've beat us 1-0, and that's part of the game. So we've lost. We move on. There's 8 games to go. There's 8 games to win.
8 games, of course. Big 8 games. I put some stats up earlier today. I don't know if you would have seen on Twitter. I think that was only our 3rd defeat in 14, which, when you look where we were a few years back, it's a remarkable turnaround. Do you think it's a case of the club getting a bit of a reality check recently, so that they still, while we're doing ever so well, we've still got that tag of underdogs?
Not sure, because I don't know about these 2 club stats, right? So I could be completely wide of the mark. So if I am, I'll apologise to Cunny and Kevin Phillips. If we've lost 3 and 14, I'm pretty sure that South Shield's record's worse than that, and I'm not 100% sure, but I reckon Buxton's will be there or thereabouts. So if that's us having a reality check, and us in crisis, and us having an absolute wobble, and us folding up, and us bottling it, and us all the other stuff I've heard this weekend, I think we're in a good place.
I know when you first came to the club, I think it was probably the very first time that I met you, you said promotion this season.
Yeah.
Nothing else in your mind would be seen as acceptable. After the months we've had now, we get into the business end of the season. Is that still your frame of thought?
Yeah.
Do you still think that's something the club can achieve?
Yeah.
I've got to admit, throw me off the game there slightly. So looking ahead now and looking back at the last week, I know a few fans have voiced complaints about how they feel the style of football is. Looking from up here and watching the games as I have, I feel the style we've played very consistent all through the season. Do you feel their complaints have merits, or do you feel it's a case of we've got to wise up to what teams are around?
Look, at the end of the day, a spectator pays money to come through the gate, and they've got a right to say whatever they want, whether it's good, bad, ugly, positive, whatever. They can complain about the football, complain about the food, complain about me, complain about any player, anyone they're sat next to. They can complain or be positive about anything they want. Ultimately, they're paying fans. So if anyone has been to every game this season, we've got a pretty consistent style of play. That's not going to change with 8 games to go. Look, at the end of the day, I think I saw the table you put on from when we first joined Philo and myself first joined the club, and I remember coming in and we had a sort of playing out from the back group of players, which was inherited from the previous regime. Listen, I've worked in academies. I'm a Man City fan. I'm all for that style of play. They were 19th, 20th, I think, at the time, and I remember coming through the gates and the fans were complaining. Now we're 3rd, and we're playing the opposite style of football, and people aren't happy. So the only other option is to be 10th and just do a little bit of both. So I'm here to try and get promoted. Philo's here to try and get promoted. This group of players is here to try and get promoted. From the fans I speak to, your Craig Cantrells, your Robbins, anyone I'll speak to in the bar, anyone's welcome to come and speak to me. From what I get, most fans are quite happy.
I know, chatting with the lads after the game Saturday, chatting with Philo and a few other people, there was definitely, people were feeling a bit down, of course, because we've lost, but it's that winning mentality. I'm sure you'll agree, nobody at this club goes home happy with just a point or going home with no points. It's those sort of losses and that winner's mentality that is so important to the philosophy that you and Philo have pushed at the club publicly and behind the scenes?
Listen, Philo, you know what Philo's like. He could win 2-1 and he'd still go on fuming because he's a born winner. He goes about sort of his way of managing, dealing with things, dealing with the media, etc. A little bit different to what I do, but it doesn't mean that we're both not as relentless and not as sort of, relentless is the word with it. So you will never ever see me leave a football ground that I'm involved with, the team that I'm involved in, being okay with the fact that we've lost. I'm not one of these managers that one of these management staff or coaching team that that will be happy with. Oh well, we were the better team, but we lost 2-0. It's not. It doesn't sit well with me. And that goes for me, Cade, Philo, obviously, Dave Noble, Bry, Fessy, Nicole, Sarah, all of us. I wouldn't want any other team around Philo, myself, because every single one of us is born winners, and that's what we're here to do, win games. So naturally, there was some slap backside faces, for want of a better phrase, on Saturday. I was one of them. You wouldn't have seen the happy jokey Wildy on Saturday, but we're refreshed and ready to go again now this week. 8 games to go.
2 training sessions this week as well,
Yeah.
which is not something we've been able to say for a while. I know the games have come thick and fast.
Yeah, of course.
How important do you feel training sessions are, especially at this level when, apart from South Shields, you know, the lads don't really get much chance to get everyone in together, get the new lads gelling? How important is it for you to look at this week and think, right, I have 2 training sessions here, we've got stuff we can work on, we've got time to work on it?
Yes, we could have won 30 games on the run and we'd have stuff to work on, and that's just how it is with football. I'm a big advocate for training. To be honest with you, I prefer Tuesdays, Thursdays to match days. I enjoy the prep side of the game. Obviously, I enjoy match days, but listen, Tuesday, Thursday is what it's all about. The weather's changed. It's a little bit brighter. Look at the pitch behind us. We've got a fantastic group of lads. And so what Philo said in his interview on Saturday, it's been blown so far out of context on social media by other clubs, and me and Philo, we speak every day at length. We're laughing and joking about it yesterday. These players are good enough, all right? I think the point what he was trying to make on Saturday is the performance was shambolic, not good enough on the day. So we've got a great group of players. Every single one of them is valuable to us. Every single one of them is going to get opportunity to play in these final 8 games. Some more than others. That's the game. But yeah, training, they can all come in, put an opportunity for sort of a place in the team on Saturday. And I was speaking to Cade before, and he's thinking of feeding them all curry goat just to get them all fired up on Friday evening for the game. So we'll be all right for weekend. And you know what? If we lose at weekend, we've got 7 to go, and if we lose the one after that, we've got 6 to go. And the mentality's the same from game 1 to game 42. We plan, we prep, and we try and win the game at weekend. Nothing's changed. Everyone's happy, everyone's positive. And on the whole, blip on Saturday, and there's been 1 or 2 of them of late. I think the football club's certainly on the up. And there's a togetherness from board to management that, if we can keep pushing, it's not really got any boundaries.
I know, I think I mentioned this in an interview I did with Cade. It's a very high pressure situation when you're in that top 5, which we've been in since I think I said earlier it was
August 24th, yeah.
So having that pressure, obviously you've got a few young players here, that pressure might be new to them. How do you go about handling that and handling the pressure that comes with it?
Well, I had a manager recently in a game tell me that we couldn't cope with the pressure and we're chokers. So since then we've won 1, drawn 1, lost 1, so we're not doing too bad. We drew that one as well. Listen, we haven't got a group of lads in there that are going to choke, and we certainly haven't got a management staff that's going to choke. Might be the wrong word. Handle pressure, should I say? We've got a group in there that are absolutely fine. I think 90% of the group in there have already been promoted or won a cup or been in a playoffs and got over the line in a season. I've said this from day one: is at some point every team has a blip. You saw Buxton's was it sort of just around the Christmas period when we played them and beat them. They've massively done that, and that's credit to Cunny. sort of, sticking by his principles. I've known him a long time, and he's very similar to us in the sense of this is how he plays, and that's that. And he's come good, which no one at this club doubted. South Shields are sort of in a little bit of a mini blip like we are. I'm not being funny. Look what they did to us at South Shields on that Tuesday night. So I've said all along that teams will have ups, teams will have downs, and we'll come good again. And touch wood, it'll start on Saturday.
I know. I think if you ask most, South Shields would have sort of been the champions elect, given they're a full-time team. What they've done in the 2 COVID seasons that was called off. Buxton, I think their pedigree and other details are well known and well versed online. For a lot of people, do you feel it's a case of there's a lot of people who expect Matlock to fail up there?
What, in terms of the other clubs?
In terms of the other clubs, do you think it's taken a lot of clubs by surprise that Matlock have retained, while obviously there's been a few losses, a few draws, the actual, when you look at the graph of where we've been this season, it's been quite steady. Is that something that you think has shocked quite a few clubs? And now
No, I don't think so. I think clubs will have probably been I think clubs will have probably been surprised sort of around the Christmas period. But look, Philo's been around this level of football a very long time, and people know what his teams are about. And we're not in the market for finishing anywhere from 5th and below. We've come here with a plan, a task, sort of a mission for Bryn and the club, and we're not going to budge off that. If people are surprised, they need to be unsurprised, because with 8 games to go and we're still involved in the title mix. So me personally, no, I don't think people will be surprised now. I think we're at a standard of football, and there's a lot of good management and coaching teams in this level, as we're getting watched left, right and centre, and people are probably knowing how to deal with the likes of Alburn and Hughesy and Reese and so forth. So it's up for us as a manager team to tweak 1 or 2 things, but stick to how we sort of want to do things, and that's how it is. And if people want to be surprised, so be it. People keep saying to me about Buxton's budget and South Shield being full time and Little Matlock, this, that. It doesn't matter. It really does not matter. I don't know what Buxton's budget is. I don't care what it is. I don't know what South Shield's do on a full time basis, and I'm sure none of them care about what we do. It's about what they do for them and what we do for us. So it's not a slangy match between us, them and the other. I've got a lot of respect for both managers and both clubs, and we're just giving it 8 games to go, and we're going to have a good crack at it.
We've seen when Atherton Collieries came down here recently, Ashton United, quite a few other teams recently as well, come down here, and I feel, talking to a few supporters, it seemed that clubs have come down here now thinking if we can come away from Matlock with a point, that's a fantastic result. Do you feel it's a case of, as you said in your previous answer, clubs knowing how Hughesy works, knowing how Albert works, do you feel it's a case of coming up with another plan in the arsenal to how to break those teams down?
That's not going to happen. That's not how we play. We've got our style of football, and that's that. So all the players know what we want, all the staff know what we want, the club knows what we're going to do in terms of the last 8 games. It's got us this far. Let's see if it can get us over the line. And even if we were going to change it, I'm not going to sit here and tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to start telling Mikelova's manager we're going to play 2,000 passes in the first half.
Well, I'll try and needle you for some experience. Looking ahead now, I know when you came on board, you sat for quite some time in the Shorts Lounge and discussed the club and where it was at, where you wanted it to be. I know one of the pillars of that was the community aspect of it.
Yep.
We've seen that come on leaps and bounds. I know the chairman, Bryn Appley, picked up the Civic Award Council this week, which was a big moment for the club. Hopefully, I'll talk to him tonight in another interview. I've not warned him yet, but I'm hoping he'll give me time in his busy schedule. How important do you feel that community aspect is, and is it something you and Philo are massively proud of?
Yeah, you know my view on the sort of community side of things. I've been at clubs. My previous club was Mosley, and it was very similar to this club. It's Matlock's a football club at the heart of the town. For me, not for me personally, because I want to win and I want to progress and I want the club to get promoted, but the community is equally as important as how high we can push the football club. You see, the junior section coming in now and supporting on game days. You've got a girl, one of the girls' teams was with us on Saturday. Mascots, people coming in at games. You know, there has been a huge increase in that side of stuff since I've been at the club. I don't know what had gone on before, and we're doing a lot of good work on that side of the club. And you know, I put a tweet out myself over Bryn. Is if there's one person who deserves some form of recognition for the football club and the town of Matlock on the whole, it's him, because well, he's single-handedly sort of galvanised the football club off the field this year. You know, Tom Wright and your Keith Browns and Dave Reynolds, etc., have done wonderful things with the club, and I just think Bryn's took that mantle now this year and pushed it on again.
I know I wasn't aware Tony was down here tonight up until about midday today when you dropped me a message and said, can I come down, because you wanted to conversate and be open with the fans and talk to the fans, put across where the sort of trainer thought with. How important do you feel is it to have that open dialogue with the fans? I know you've got quite a healthy social media presence, you're very open, things can be discussed. I know the same with Phil. How important do you think having that dialogue is?
It's massive. Look, at the end of the day, Tuesdays, well, not, if we're playing at home or we're playing away, everybody knows where I'll be. Saturdays, home or away, everyone knows where I'll be. If you want to come and have a chat with me, or you want to speak to me, you've got an issue or something you're not happy with, or you know, within reason, I'm going to start like, you know what I mean, slagging off individual players to me because I'll defend them to the hilt. But listen, if you want to speak to any of the management staff, pull us and we'll speak to you. It's as simple as that. And I think a big thing's been blown way out of proportion for me this weekend, and it comes from other people on social media, nothing to do with the club. And that's fine. That is part and parcel of it. It's a really healthy social media rivalry. I actually enjoy a lot of the Buxton fans' pages and tweets. Some of them are open and honest, some of them are just full-scale wind-up merchants, and that's part and parcel of the fun. So, like I keep banging on, I'm not going to change my mentality. There's 8 games to go. We're just going to have a really good crack at it. I'm not sitting on the fence. Do I want to win the league? Yes. Do I want to miss the playoffs and win it outright? Yes. But right now it's about Mickle on Saturday and the 7 games after that.
I think if there was a game in that schedule that didn't need any extra spice to it, but is going to go down well all the same as that A6 derby against Buxton. To finish things off, because lads are arriving now, Snigs Prep Up, we've been going 17 minutes, which is really kind of you to give me your time.
It's not like you, that, Jace.
No, I'll talk forever, mate, you know me. This is the first time I think you've been on camera since your son was born. How are things at home, and how has that affected you becoming a first-time dad?
Yeah, it's great. Everything's fine with that, but love him to bits. He's brilliant, but we're here to win a league. I won't get promoted, so don't worry about him. He's fine.
Thank you very much, Dave. Well.
Cheers, mate.